the challenge is that everything resides on our mainframe. So when they do their certifications, they have to hit the mainframe as well. So we're trying to make sure that the traffic doesn't cause the system degradation that we saw a couple of weeks back. But I will tell them that to keep trying to file their certifications, and that when they're filing it and they're asked if they're able and available to work, please check yes. The question really isn't about if they have a job. The question is, are you able and available to work? And the reason why is that that will just result in not getting this trigger saying that there it sends a message that we feel might cause some confusion. So it's better if they just say yes and then process it that way. I would tell you that at this point we are working on backup plans if we have too many um, certifications filed. But at this point, it looks like we've been able to stabilize it with about 22,000 to anywhere from 22,000 to about 17,000 certifications that are coming in each day. We used to receive about at most about let's see, about 1,000. We received about 3,000, maybe 5,000 a day, but now we're up to 22,000. So it's quite significant, and that's on a regular basis. So we're asking everybody to please, keep filing, keep trying. If we anticipate any form of system degradation, we'll be sure to let them know. And we do have a backup system of doing that, which would allow us to take it through a form. But this is the most efficient way for us to do it. It make sure that the claimant gets paid in the most timely way. From the time they've been separated from their job, that's when the clock starts counting on benefits. So not to worry, it may take a little while longer. And again, I apologize for that. But the reality is they'll get the entire amount that they're entitled to in terms of benefits. I will also share with you that for what we're anticipating will happen is that we do see a lot of people who are filing as uh, full full separation from work, right? Those people file a biweekly claim as opposed to a biweekly certification. Well, they initially file for weekly certifications, but then it shifts to biweekly, which we believe will help to reduce some of the load. But again, it's hard to say at this point until we go through all of the individual claims and can get a better assessment of how many people are actually partial versus full. Yeah, there isn't an ability for them to designate that they're a 1099 or an independent contractor. And I would tell them that we just got the guidance from the U.S. Department of Labor this afternoon, and our staff are starting to go through it. And that'll help us with what's called the Pandemic Unemployment Insurance Assistance Program. That program, any independent contractor, from what my initial review looks like, is from January 27th, 2020 up to June 31st, 2020 would qualify for unemployment insurance coverage. But we just received the official USDOL guidance on it this afternoon. So our team is going through it now to make sure that we implement it in the proper way. Yeah, the challenge for the independent contractors right now is if they go online, we don't have a designated identifier for them. And the reason that's important is because we have to do a employability match or our monetary requirements. So we typically will match up employers with what the employee is claiming they lost a job from. So, and that could be multiple employers. In the case of independent contractors, we may not have that one-to-one correspondence. So the question is, how do we verify what the benefit amount is that they're entitled to? So the only thing I haven't again read the guidance, but we would need some type of data to verify that against. And the only thing I can think of is the tax data. But again, we need to look into that a little more thoroughly and implement it properly for all of Hawaii's independent contractors. I asked them to please be patient with us, give us a couple of days. We'll go through it, and we're trying to. I have a team working on it now, but there's also making sure that we have some previous experience with disaster unemployment, which is pretty much the same thing as what they're calling pandemic unemployment insurance assistance. So we need to be able to stand those systems up to help them. And at this point, once we go through the guidance, it'll tell us if it's something we can add on to our existing system or if it's something that we have to stand up separately, and that would definitely help get uh, these new claimants, these new independent contractors, to a point where they can receive their funds as quickly as possible. So from what I understand, we're about 91% of all of the forms, the forms, if you clicked on that little green box on the website, about 91% of those have all been ingested into our mainframe. Now, some of those were replications and some of them have additional information that's needed. But if you filed everything correctly and you've included all of the information, they should have received an email from us once it's gone into the system. So um, you know, I'm not sure, it's hard to generalize, but what I can tell you is for those individuals, if you have gotten the confirmation email that says this is your confirmation number, then it's just a matter of us making sure the data is correct, because we do have to do our due diligence and process it. But again, we're talking about 194,000 claims. So that's a filing. So it's a lot of information, a lot of people that we're trying to support. So, um, I think for people like that, I'm just asking them to bear with us. I appreciate their patience in it. Again, we are having statewide challenges, not just with our department and our call center. It is, from what I understand, much more broader reaching than that. So, again, try to be patient with us. We are trying to get to every single claimant, every one of the 194,000 that need to. We're trying to follow up with them. Did try to leave a voicemail before, which got completely inundated. So, it doesn't do any good if we can't get back to people. But that's why we've redeployed the personnel. Um, you can imagine this is with 83 people now working. You can imagine if we didn't do that and left it at 7. You can imagine just how detrimental it'll be to everybody's life. So, we have done a lot of things to try to keep moving this forward. Again, um, we've deployed these other places that I can assure you people are working in. Um, and, and, other than that, I do again appreciate the community's patience.